Beginnings community. I am Stephanie and welcome to Baking with Steffi. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make delicious, healthy banana muffins. So, are you ready to get started? Let's go! Alright, so for supplies you're going to be needing 3 very ripe bananas. The riper they are, the better. They're going to be nice and sweet and easy to mash. 1 medium-sized apple. We're going to be grating it, which I've already done here, so you can see more or less the quantity you're going to have. Vegetable oil, I recommend like a sunflower oil, and it doesn't have too much taste, it's quite neutral, so it's not going to compete with the flavor of the banana. Going to need some baking powder, some cinnamon. If you're not a fan of cinnamon, you don't need to add it in, but I love cinnamon. Flour. We're going to be needing 225 grams flour, which I've already measured out. And in the end, I like to add a little bit of blueberry. I'm going to fold that in. If you prefer raisins or nuts, or maybe something a little bit sweeter like some chocolate, feel free to add anything you like. That will go well with your bananas. So for supplies, this is the best part, is you don't need too many supplies. We just need a medium-sized bowl for mixing, a fork for mashing our bananas and mixing everything together, or a spatula for folding everything. For the apple, we're going to need to peel the apple, so you're going to need a knife and then a grater. I recommend using the large side of your grater, not the small side. For measuring out, we're going to need a tablespoon. If you don't have a tablespoon, then you can use a large soup spoon. And then you're also going to need a teaspoon. If you don't have a teaspoon, then you can just use a small spoon. For our flour, 225 grams is 1 cup. So if you don't have a scale, then you can use a cup measurement. So that's going to be 1 cup for you. So let's get our hands washed, our hair up, and get our oven preheated to 180 degrees Celsius. And let's get baking. So first we're going to start with our bananas. We're going to peel our bananas, place them in the bowl, and start mashing. As they're quite ripe, they should be really easy to mash, and you'll just need to use a fork for mashing. Mine are already kind of starting to peel really easy. If you don't have ripe bananas, what you can do is place them inside a paper bag the day before, and that will help ripen them up. So we're going to take our fork and we're going to mash these bananas up so they get nice and smooth. I'll just take one moment. This is definitely something that your kids can help with. So you can see one of my bananas was extra ripe and super easy to mash. The other 2 were still a little bit firm. So it's taking a little bit more effort to get them mashed up, but don't worry. All right, we have a nice consistency here. So once we have our apple mashed, we're going to add in, or once we have our banana mashed, we're going to add in our apple. So here's 1 medium-sized apple, grated. I'm going to mix that all together. And now we're going to add in some oil. You have the option as well of adding some Greek yogurt. If you're vegan, then you don't need to add the Greek yogurt. I'm going to be adding, it's about 1 to 2 tablespoons of Greek yogurt. I like the flavor that it adds to it, as well as adding some moisture. Okay. And then I'm going to be using about 4 tablespoons of our sunflower oil. I like to start with a little bit less and then add more if we need it, because everyone's bananas are going to be a different size as well as the apple. So once we add in our flour, we'll have a better idea of how much moisture we're going to be needing. here's 3, and the last one makes 4. I'm going to keep this close by just in case we do need a little bit more. So now that we have our oil and our Greek yogurt added into our banana and apple, we're going to mix that together. If you don't have Greek yogurt and you want to use normal yogurt, that's totally fine as well. And again, if you're vegan and you're not going to be using any Greek yogurt or plain yogurt, then you're going to want to add 5 tablespoons of oil instead of the 4 that we added. So now we have a really nice blended mixture of all our liquids. So now we're going to add in our dry ingredients. So we have 225 grams of flour, which I've already measured out. So I'm going to add that in on top here. We're going to be adding 3 teaspoons of baking powder. So I'm going to need a bit more than this one. I'm going to open up a new one as well. So again, if you don't have a teaspoon measure, you can just use a small spoon. So I need 3 heaping teaspoons. Here's 1. 2 and 3. Now if you're going to be using a self-rising flour instead of plain flour, then you're only going to need to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder instead of the 3. So now we're going to add in some cinnamon. Now this is to your liking. I am a big fan of cinnamon, but if you don't like cinnamon too much, then you don't need to add any. I'm just going to sprinkle some in. Now that we have all our dry ingredients with our wet ingredients, we're going to stir them all together. So it's just going to take a few minutes to get everything incorporated. If it's becoming too difficult to do with your fork, I'm going to move on now to my spatula. And that way I can really scrape the sides and get everything well incorporated. So you can see it's still pretty thick. This is why we add less olive oil beforehand, or sunflower oil beforehand, because we can always add in a little bit more if needed. And this is looking pretty dry still, so I'm going to add in another tablespoon. I'm going to start with 1. And we might need to add in a second one. We're going to see how it incorporates now. All right, let's get that mixing. So now it's coming together much better. There's still some dry flour at the bottom, so now I'm going to add in about half a tablespoon more. If you want to add in a little bit more yogurt, you can add in more yogurt also. It's up to you. And we have everything all mixed in. We have a really nice consistency here. So now I'm going to fold in my blueberries. Now if you're going to be using raisins or nuts or chocolate, this is the moment to add it in. So we're just going to fold that in. Okay, so you can see it's a pretty thick consistency. Everybody's might vary a little bit depending on the size of their bananas or their blueberries. The important thing is that it's not too runny like liquid milk or water or anything like that. We don't want it too thin. So now once we have a nice consistency, we're going to get ready to put it inside our muffin tins. Okay, so now that we have our mixture ready, we're going to be putting it inside our muffin tins. If you're going to be using silicone muffin pan, you don't need to grease it at all. But if you're going to be using a tin pan, then you will need to either grease them or line it with muffin liners. You also have the option of making a loaf. If you would prefer to have more of a banana bread instead of banana muffins, you can use a loaf tin. Same thing applies if you're going to be using silicone. You don't need to grease the loaf tin, but if you're going to be using a metal one, then you'll definitely want to grease it up to make sure that the mixture doesn't stick. So now what we want to do is we're going to spoon it in to our muffin tin. What we want to do is try and make sure that we get the most equal amount in all of the muffin pans. What I like to do is I start with just 1 spoon each. And then once I see I have at least 1 spoon in each muffin holder, then I will add some more. I like to try and make sure as well that I have the added ingredients equally distributed. So if you have chocolate, or in my case the blueberries, if you're using raisins, just make sure that each muffin has a little bit of that inside. So I'm going to be getting about 12 muffins out of this. Depending on the size of your bananas and your apple, that's going to tell you about more or less how many muffins you're going to get. So your cook times, if you're going to be using a muffin tin, then it's going to be about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how quickly or how hot your oven runs, I should say. It's really important when baking to know your oven, because everybody's oven is going to heat differently. Mine, for example, runs a little bit hotter in the back of my oven than in the front. Others might have a little bit hotter along the sides, or it might be hotter in the front instead of the back. So it's really important to know your oven, especially when you're going to be baking. So what we're going to do is our muffins are going to start out at 10 minutes. And then depending on your oven, you might need to flip them around to make sure that you get an even bake time. If you're going to be using a loaf tin, then it's going to be about 20 minutes. So I recommend at about 18 minutes to take a peek, flip them around if they need to be flipped. And then you'll know that they're finished baking when they are nice and golden on the top, and when a toothpick inserted into the center of your muffin comes out clean. If it seems a bit wet or there's little crumbs on it, that means that your muffin is not completely cooked. So we don't want any raw muffins. Since we're not using egg, it's not more that it's not dangerous if they're a little undercooked because there's no egg in it. But the texture won't be very nice to have a soggy middled banana muffin. So I'm just going to finish filling these up. Again, it is quite important to try and have them as equally filled as possible so you have an even bake time for everything. I'm just going to scrape out my bowl. I have a couple more blueberries to distribute. One here. One there. Give the bowl a quick scrape. As you can see, you'll get a lot of batter along the sides. I'll just put that here. So one little trick that I have for when I'm dealing with muffins is to give the pan a tap, or you can take just the holders and give them a few taps here. That's going to help release any air that might have gotten trapped in the bottom of the muffin tin while you were filling them up. I also like to just kind of wipe off the sides to make sure we don't have any batter burning. And now these are ready to go into the oven. So I have my timer ready for 10 minutes. I'll do a check at 10 minutes. And I'll flip them around. So I'll put them in the oven like this, and after 10 minutes, I'm going to flip them around and put them back in the oven till about 15 minutes. And at that point, you'll need your toothpick to check the center to make sure that they're fully cooked. So let's get these in the oven. The kitchen smells amazing. Let's check these muffins. Oh, they look beautiful. We have a nice golden brown color to them, so I'm going to take them out, give them a quick toothpick check. Now mine needed a few more minutes in the oven, so it took about a total of 18 minutes. So here I'm sticking my toothpick into the center. We take it out and it's coming out nice and clean, if you can see that. I'm going to do one over here as well, right into the center. And it's come out nice and clean as well, so that means our muffins are done. I'm going to give them about 5 minutes to sit here, and then I'm going to move them onto the cooling rack. Alright, so it's been those 5 minutes, and I've just removed the muffins from the muffin tins. It's important to wait those 5 minutes because otherwise the muffins will be too hot and they can fall apart. They're still pretty warm, so I'm going to give them another couple minutes to cool here on the rack, and then we can plate them and eat them. Yummy, yummy! Alright, so here we have our banana muffins, fresh out of the oven. I gave them a bit of time to cool. It was very hard to resist eating them. I hope you enjoyed today's class. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment. Remember, baking time is going to be dependent on the type of mold that you're using and how much batter you put in. The most important thing is that they come out a golden brown and your toothpick comes out clean when you've done the toothpick test. So now the best part, you get to eat them and enjoy. Thanks for joining us today with Baking with Steffi. I hope to see you next time. Bye. And these are the results of our kids' hard work. Look how great they turned out. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you next time.